They say talk is cheap, but it won't be for Jetstar passengers from this November. That's when you'll have to pay extra, about $10, to be checked in the old-fashioned way, face-to-face, by a person behind a counter. It's all part of a push by the budget airline to convert all passengers to self-service check-in, which means printing out your own boarding pass and tagging your own luggage. Jayson Westbury is the Chief Executive of the Australian Federation of Travel Agents, and he says though automation may speed things up, it's not completely reliable.
I think that many of the airlines that have moved to those automated check-in have proven that that model does work. I think the issue, though, is that when it doesn't work and when the technology does fail, let's face it, all technology fails from time to time, you want to know that there's someone around, and I wouldn't think it's something you want to have to pay for.
It's all part of the so-called unbundling trend, which means paying extra for things that used to be included in the airfares. Now you have to pay for things like checking in your baggage with a worker. You have to pay for food and drink on an airplane. So where's it all going to end? Are you going to have to pay extra to have a clean plane, or you have to clean it yourself if you don't want to pay? Where's it all going?
I think that's a very good point about the way airlines in their direct connect model are adding everything. There's a base fare and then it's plus, plus, plus. I think that consumers are getting a little confused about what is the price. Last year the ACCC clamped down on all-inclusive pricing, and one of those reasons was that people need to know exactly what they are paying for. And obviously what the airlines are doing is they're saying, here's a base price, but if you want to take a bag, see a human, have a meal, get a blanket, it's plus, plus, plus. I do think there's a fine line between what is all-inclusive pricing and what is a plus, plus, plus model.
But some people like the idea of doing everything themselves, from booking the flights online to checking in, without having to engage really with anyone.
I think that my own experiences with flying with many of the airlines is that often the first human contact I have is as you board the aircraft and the flight attendant says, fourth row on the left. And that's usually the first human contact you have these days with most of the airlines. It is the flight attendant. Thank goodness they haven't managed to find a way of automating that.
Will there be some passengers who will be intimidated by this? Business travellers who fly a lot will probably embrace it, but what about other passengers? I
think that's a really interesting point. First-time travellers, older people, people with families, people with disabilities. The whole automated process works if you're able-bodied and you know what you're doing. But if you're a first-time traveller and you're a bit confused and you're off on an adventure, off on a holiday, and you've got all the things that one takes with them, I'm not quite sure whether all this automation is the best way to service customers.
Jayson Westbury, thank you.
It's a pleasure.